this is my biggest issue in my home right now. The 7-year-old girl tells on everybody. When we were at a friend's house, she told on their dog. Like, she just tells on everybody.
And when you tell her not to tell on everybody, what happens? Nothing.
She's, Mom, can I just tell you one thing? She asks permission, and she just is like dying until she can say it.
So she's just got to say it.
She's just got to say it. And so sometimes I say no, but she has a really hard time moving on. And sometimes I say, is this worth spending an hour in your room to say this one thing? And she'll say yes. And she'll tattle and then go spend an hour in her room. I mean, she has to say it.
Wow.
Tell me, this is on everybody?
She tells on everyone. She tells on my husband.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just random, Dad's using a metal spatula on the pan and you're only supposed to use plastic. I mean, she's watching everybody and just jumping on everybody.
Does she get this as a model anywhere?
I'm very observant, and I do a lot of correcting. I do a lot of praising, too. I notice a lot. I notice everything. So...
I think you see why I asked that, because I'm afraid that...
It's all coming back on me.
I think this is your idea. I would never do what you're doing like that. I do think it's true, though, that I would pay attention to me as I looked at a child around me and see where is she getting this pattern to look at. And I'd be very careful that I am not doing it, and that I'm stopping it if I see it in some other place, that I'm trying to get this under control so she doesn't see it as a way of having communication. She does not attach to this the ethical implication that perhaps you and I would attach to it. I mean, it is objectionable to tattle, but she may see it as a moral imperative, which may be what yours is as well, by the way. You're a mother. It's normal for mothers to do this, right? To point out errors and to say this is how you're supposed to do it, not like that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, children pick this up pretty quickly. And they start sounding like us after a while. Do you ever sound like your mother, for instance? That we realize this about ourselves after a while. We start sounding like people that used to raise us at some point, and that's where it comes from. So I'd want to watch myself on this one. I want to say also that it sounds like this is a fairly innocent and not to be alarmed about, but it sounds like it probably is going into what may be considered a compulsive issue. I just gotta say it. I can't stand it. I gotta say it. You want to go to your room for it? I'm okay with going to my room. I gotta say it. That's all. And here it comes. Boom. Go to your room. All right. This is thinking through. I could control this, and I decided against controlling it. I could control this, and I'm deciding against controlling it. Is there something that would be a more potent response than sending her to her room? And I'm not saying sending her to her room is not wrong, by the way, because I give her a direct command, don't do it. And she says, I'm going to do it. I'm going for it. You say, you know what happens if you do it. Yeah, I know what happens. I'm okay with that. And then she does, and you dump her. Does she come back repentant when she does?
No, it buys me 55 minutes of no tattling. That's all it's good for.
That's not the answer, then. That's not the answer. All right. I want you to think of the person she is most competitive with. Is there somebody? Is it the 7-year-old?
She probably has more run-ins with her 4-year-old sister than with anyone else.
Would she say she's the instigator? Typically.
I think it's pretty even.
The two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would she be the kind of person you could have a Coke with and talk about what might happen today, anticipating the kind of day that happened yesterday, because she does this all the time anyway. I want to take the time out before she mixes it up with the other children or whatever else is going to happen in her day, And you might do it at night as well as in the morning, and speak to her about, you remember what happened yesterday, like Daddy was using the spatula, remember that? And it made you crazy, and you just had to tell me about it, remember that? And remember you had to go to your room, remember all that? Yeah. Okay, I want to try to help you with that. I want to give you, I'm sitting with her table now, nothing's gone wrong yet. I want to give you this today. Why? Why are you giving me that? Do you want it? Well, yeah, I really do want that. Okay, I'm going to give you this today, and I'm going to be watching you how you conduct yourself today. If you want to hang on to this thing all day and keep it, the price will be that you don't tattle. If you tattle, the person, first of all, you'll go to your room as you usually do, but the person who you tattle on will get this.
I can see that working.
I can see that working. Now what we're doing, we're working on the fact of evil. I'm accepting evil. I'm not causing evil. I accept evil as being a factor. It's not just that I like to tattle. It's that I like advantage over you. It's not about you. It's more about me. This is who I am. I like advantage over you. And I get an advantage over you when I tattle. I get I get some licks over here too, but I kind of like what happens to you when I tattle, and that's kind of driving this thing. What if I didn't get the disadvantage of you tattling on me? What if I actually got an advantage because you tattled on me? You see that? Now, I don't know what the thing is. It might be a bowl of ice cream. I don't really care what it is, but I wanted something that this kid would really want. And by the way, what's even worse is the other kid doesn't even care. This kid gets something that I really wanted, and he doesn't even care that he gets it, but he got it and I didn't. You see, that's the dynamic of it. This is working with evil. It doesn't cause evil. Evil's already there. This is working with evil, and getting the awareness. Let that happen. I can't let you have that advantage. This is my advantage, not yours. I can't let you have my advantage. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what would it be? What would be an example?
Any type of candy, but even
Candy.
maybe $1, but probably candy because we don't have very much candy in our house.
The chances are that what a child values is not necessarily what you value is the point. For instance, a young child might value a penny over a dime because a penny's bigger, right? So children, you got to figure out with children. I don't
Or
know.
a Chuck E. Cheese token over $1.
Exactly. A Chuck E. Cheese token might mean more than $1. Yeah. So you have to figure out for your child. But to have a unit in sibling rivalries is very useful to have a unit to work with. And once again, I'm getting into whatever the reward is that works. I'm not someone who advises using rewards for good behavior, but I am a person who understands the value of what's called behavior modification. Behavior modification has to do with deliberately deciding I'm not going to do this habit anymore. This is a normal way to get past bad habits, is to bring it up to a decision level and deciding, today I will not do this bad habit. If you ever get to this point, it's the first step toward getting over a bad habit, whatever the habit is. It works this way in Alcoholics Anonymous. It works this way in anger. It works this way in all kinds of things. We have problems that keep on showing up. The first step in behavior modification is to make the decision. And this happens because you're aware that you might make the mistake and then make your decision, I will not make the mistake. Okay, now let's talk about how this would work secretly. Because it's a secret deal. No one else knows about this kid. You and me. There's nobody else that knows this. And if you foul it up, the person you tattle on gets this. Nothing said about it, just gets it. If the person finds out why he got it, it will not be because I told him. So we all know who would have told him, right? And he'll get it, 2 of them then. Do you see? This is a secret deal between me and one kid. You're not my favorite because I'm doing this. I'm actually trying to correct a defect, basically. It takes time to correct a defect. You're not my favorite. I'm not giving you candy because you're my favorite. I'm giving you candy because I'm trying to get you past a bad habit right now. And I'd rather the candy be there than the bad habit. Now, as a doctor, I'm supposed to object to candy. I really don't object to much of anything that works. All I care about is it works. If it's a nickel or an M&M or whatever it is, as long as it works. And you make this secret deal with the kid. Now, you have now a way of reaching the kid with a knowing look that you don't have to say anything. We both know what the look means. And so the kid understands, I have this in my pocket. Now, let's say, for instance, an example would be you could put it, we're going to be in 4 hours in an arrangement here where the children are around together. This is where a place where this could happen is. I have this item sitting here. I don't talk about it. I don't comment on it. It's just sitting here. And someone says, what's that doing there? And he says, it's just there. You don't need to explain it. It's just there. But that kid knows why it's there. And this is now sitting in the room as a, like a wart on your nose. Everybody can see it. It's just there. And if kids look at it and say, I don't know why that's there. Well, he knows why it's there, or she knows why it's there. And you don't need to say anything else about it. And so then, every now and then, as a signal to her, you might recognize that she hasn't tattled on anybody. And you might do that by a little tap or a wink or something like that. And she knows what you're doing. She knows what it's about. You and I are having a secret conversation right now that's not involving anybody else, and it's focused on this. At the end of the day, you get it. Now, she getting it cannot involve other children. The other children cannot be aware, because I don't want any kind of disruption with the general dynamics around all the other children. And she has to understand that. This is between you and me. You get an advantage, but the advantage comes from you doing this correctly. If you blow it, the other kid gets it. If the other kid finds out about it, it'll be even worse. So don't tell anybody about it. Don't talk about it. Children are okay with this. This particular child will be okay with this, probably. I've rarely seen this not work. If you just carry it through. Use your imagination. You may want to modify what I just said. But if you think about the principle of it, is to work with her, not simply her compulsion to speak, which is the primary issue. It's also the part of the driver of it is I want to get the other guy in trouble. And I'm not only not getting him in trouble, I'm getting in trouble and he's getting my advantage. I have an advantage in not getting him in trouble. And now I'm giving up my advantage and he's getting it. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Now what do you think about that?
It'll work, I think it'll work.
I think it'll work.